BBC came, did you have guys like watching every move they were making? You had to almost put like one-on-one, right? Somebody's watching everything they're doing.
Everything.
You have to do it, right? You can't be, you have to be overly paranoid and skeptical with these guys.
If they want to hear about, Ricky Tang's crime lord, if they want to hear more about the crime syndicate in Hong Kong, I can tell them all about it, because Carter Lee is going to get it under control.
Let me ask a question about this. I love what you said, especially, number one, you're a wordsmith, you're a linguist, no doubt. I mean,
I don't know English yet, bro.
Yeah,
I'm practicing.
You're still working on your
practicing.
English. You've got the kickboxing belts all up over here. I would argue, I've never seen you fight, but I would argue that your linguistic skills are better than your fighting skills. I'll let you judge
I'll take that.
I totally agree with you. The way that you speak to a man is way different than the way you talk to a woman.
Yeah.
You can tell a guy, you're a loser, get your fat ass in the gym, and a guy would be receptive to that. So I can't tell you how many men come up to Pat, dude, what was Andrew Tate like? What was Tate like? Tell me about Tate. Tell me a Tate story. Dude, that guy's so cool. He's such a badass. And I'm sure you've seen the women that react to your videos. Fuck you, Andrew Tate. You've seen these. But when you sit around these women and you go to podcasts with these women, by the end of the podcast, these women love you.
Yeah, they're all nice to me.
So what I want you to do is sell the women for a second. Because it's easy to sell the men. Like, for instance, I had a girl one time. Took her out on a date. Great time. Dinner, this, that, the other. Treated her royally. That night, she says, I had him such a great night. Look forward to seeing you again, yada, yada, yada. The next day I wake up. The first text I get from her is, so you fuck with Tate? I'm like, what are you talking about? Can't believe you would associate with such a guy. I'm like, what? I look at you totally differently. I said, what are you talking about? Yeah. I treated you nicely. I treated you royally. Yeah. You had a great time. 99% of men, I don't think I'm being bombastic here, totally appreciate what you're saying.
Yep.
I think you said 40% of your audience is women.
Yep.
What can you do to win over the 60% of women who are like, fuck Tate, sell me on that?
Well, you know what's interesting? I would argue it's far less than 60%. In my experience, I've yet to meet a female who doesn't like me, ever. Maybe they say they don't like me on the internet, but when I meet them, everybody is nice to me. I've never had a single woman come up to me and say, you say bad things about women, ever. I think that men and women have very different mental models because if we reference back to what we said earlier about testosterone, in general, women are not capable of combat, so they're more likely to accept an idea or an ideal because they can't fight and resist that idea. Think about it, right? If a woman joins a new clan or a new tribe or a new society, she can't resist the ideas of that society very easily because she hasn't got the physical capability to combat, to fight. So she has to more likely assimilate. And I think that we even evolved for this to happen. I think when a woman went into another tribe, they evolved it. I think even if you look at World War II, by the end, after 3 years of German occupation, all the French women were the German soldiers. They literally killed your husband. But you just assimilate with the new power structures, right? So women to a degree, and this is not misogynistic, this is just, obviously exceptions do exist. This is just a generalized point. Women to a degree are more likely to go along with the flow, the ebbs and flows of the ideas they are told because they're less likely to combat them and fight against them. And you'll see this especially in women who say they're reborn or women who say, oh, I'm religious now, or I regret what I did when I was young. Why'd you do it? Oh, everyone was doing it, peer pressure, music videos, I was told that's how I was supposed to act. They just went with the flow. So I think that especially when it comes to dating and women in the world today, I think that there's two major influences on a female's mind. And one of them is society, the matrix as a whole, and the second one is the man she's dating. I think if she was dating you long enough, if she was dating you a little bit longer, she would have already intrinsically changed her mind. I think every man knows what I'm saying is true. If you date a woman for a few months, by the end, your favorite song is her favorite song. Your interests are her interests. Your favorite car is her favorite car. She just
your favorite team is definitely her favorite team at that point.
That's how it goes, right?
Yep.
So, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about being in a relationship. I absolutely love when my woman pretends to care about cars. She doesn't have a fucking clue. She just, wow, this one's purple. Yeah, it's purple. Get in. I love this one. Because she knows I care, so she pretends to care. That's part of the beauty of it all, right? So I think women have two major, all of us, all people, men as well, have two major impacts on their mind. We have the matrix trying to tell us certain things, and then we have our partner or peer pressure trying to tell us other things. But I think men have a more natural inclination, especially if you're an alpha male, to resist and look and think, no, I disagree with that. Women are more likely to go, oh, well, that's what was said. So I've never met any woman who disagrees with me. I've yet to meet them. Maybe they exist in Miami. I look forward to going and meeting them myself. I would guarantee I could sit on any panel of women who disagree with me, and by the end of it, they wouldn't disagree with me because they would understand my ideas better after I've explained to them. And I would explain to them in a way that make them understand it. And by the end of it, I guarantee, like every other podcast I've ever done, by the end, every girl sitting there who disagreed with me at the beginning is saying, he's right, he's right. Watch Fresh and Fit, watch it. By the end of it, they're all like, well, he is right, every single time. So it's just about a matter of communication. But women certainly have adopted a lot of the matrix ideals, even more than most men. And I think that's just because of the biology. I think it's a difference in biologies. And that's really scary, right? Because like I said, it's a race to the bottom. If they can poison all of one gender, then they can poison all of the other. That's how they do it, because there's no point in being moral in a rigged game. So yeah, it's difficult, especially in the Western world, because Western women have a particular degree of psyop that's being purported upon them that they don't have in other places. Eastern European women don't believe being a slut is a good way to act. They know that's wrong. They know it's because they're more religious and they're more family orientated. Let's take this country. Romania locked me up, but I lived here for a reason. Right? We can discuss the case and what happened to me, and I can be upset about it, but I am not the kind of person who is too emotional to be professional. And as a professional, I can remove my emotions and look at things logically. We're in one of the poorest countries in the world, which is safer than America in every single possible metric you can measure. All of them. How do they do that? They do that with a very strict legal system. That's how they do things. When I was in jail, a boy walked in. I said, why are you in jail? He goes, I was looking in a car window. Might have broke in, might have not. Looked in the window, jail. 2 weeks, sitting in the cell. Will he look in windows anymore? Will he break into a car? Doubt it. They have a very strict legal system. So whatever they do with their very limited resources works to keep the place extremely safe, right? Another reason I lived here is because it's extremely religious, one of the most Christian countries in the world. Another reason I lived here is because family values are so strong. I've been on dates with 26-year-old women who had to be home at 10 o'clock because their dad said so. I've been on dates with 27-year-old women who said, I can't go to that restaurant, people might see me, we're not married, I can't be seen with you there. All that exists here still. They don't have the matrix-minded propaganda yet, which is instilled inside of Western women, which make them believe that somehow acting in a degenerate fashion is going to lead to anything but unhappiness. And most women who have lived degenerately, if you speak to them on a long enough time frame, it may take them a while, but as they grow older, they always say, I wish I didn't do that, in the end. Because all of us are born with a baseline morality, and we all know what's truly good and what's truly bad. So the Western woman is under a hard psyop. And this is another thing, if you're a man and you have a relationship and you're in the Western world, I would understand that there are two forces at play for her mind. There's your influence, and if you truly love her, you want the best for her, and to make her the best self, she has to be her best self for you because you're a team.